I filed my last request on a Wednesday morning, and instead of asking for a final meal, I asked for a fiddle. That single decision is the only reason I'm alive to tell you this story. Most men on death row ask for steak, or their mother's cooking, or nothing at all. I asked for my grandfather's fiddle, the one that raised me on a porch every Sunday after my parents were gone. I wrote out exactly which one, the sticky fine tuner, the string that always went flat, the crack in the body he'd patched with hide glue years ago. I explained it had to be tuned his specific way, or it wouldn't sound like him. I wanted to play one song before the end, an old reel called The Long Way Home. The program's officer showed up at my cell holding the request form like it might bite him. You want us to bring in an instrument, strings, tuning pegs, a wooden body? Do you know what a security nightmare that is? I told him it didn't matter. It was the only thing I wanted. He asked if my grandfather had been a musician. No, I said. Just a man who raised me and played every Sunday. Something in his face shifted. I'll see what I can do, he said. It's your last request. If it matters this much, it matters. My execution was set for Friday, 6 p.m. I had 48 hours. Thursday morning, my sister dropped the fiddle at the gate. Security dismantled it almost string by string before clearing it that afternoon. But the case had been jostled in transit. 2 pegs had slipped, and the tuning I'd written down wouldn't hold. The officer, it turned out he played a little guitar, spent an hour with a clip-on tuner trying to bring the flat string back to pitch. It wouldn't stay. It has to be right, he told the warden. The man asked for one specific thing. Thursday night, I lay on my bunk, unable to sleep, listening to him down the hall in the property room, plucking that same string over and over, chasing a sound he'd never actually heard. My lawyer had stopped calling months earlier. My family had stopped visiting after the trial. Everyone believed I killed Colin. I hadn't. But belief doesn't need truth once a jury signs its name to it. Friday came. Noon passed. The tuning still wouldn't hold, so the officer sent out for a new string, a gut wound one, the exact kind I'd specified, though I never asked him to go that far. It arrived at 2 o'clock. He restrung the fiddle, but a fresh string needs time to stretch and settle before it holds a note. You can't rush it. My grandfather used to say you have to let it learn the note. At 5 o'clock, the warden came to my cell. Your instrument isn't ready. We're moving the time to 8 o'clock. I almost laughed. Even from prison property, that fiddle was stubborn to the end. 6 o'clock came and went. So did 7 o'clock. At 7:30, the officer appeared at my bars, hollow-eyed, and passed the fiddle through the bars. It's holding now. I tuned the last hair of it myself, the way only I knew how, and I played the whole reel, slow, in a concrete room, and for 4 minutes I was 6 years old on a summer porch again. I finished at 7:52, 8 minutes left. They walked me down the hall. The chaplain asked if I wanted to pray. I said no. At 7:55, the warden's phone rang. His face changed as he listened. Say that again. You're certain? He looked straight at me and said one word. Stop. Colin's business partner had been arrested that afternoon and confessed. He'd framed me over money, and a witness had finally broken. An emergency stay was filed at 7:25 and granted at 7:40, but in the chaos, no one reached the warden until his phone rang at 7:56. The clock read 7:57. If that fiddle had been tuned and ready at 6, exactly as scheduled, I would already have been gone during the very window when no one on earth knew to stop it. The officer sagged against the wall when the warden nodded at him. The stay came through at 7:40, he said quietly. Right about when I finally got that string to hold, I slid down the wall and sat on the concrete floor. A stubborn string, a man who refused to rush it, and 40 minutes I still can't fully explain. I was exonerated 4 months later. I drove straight to my grandfather's grave, sat there with the fiddle across my knees and played him The Long Way Home, and told him it was the reason I got to come back at all.